Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety-split. Go watch a movie!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 148. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Sorry about the hiatus last week, but life happens. Today, we are doing the fantastic, I'm giving it away now, film TENET by Christopher Nolan. But we have a lot more to say about that. But before we get to that, a little bit of entertainment news. First and foremost, Mr. Boyega, John Boyega of Finn fame, and he's been in a lot more, but, you know, that's probably what most people know him as.
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block is a fantastic one. Young shooter there. That was my bad British accent. he's come out and said that no other person on the Star Wars set had the experience that he had in a negative way. Because apparently there were some racial issues.
Dang it.
And he said the proof is in the pudding with they had no idea how to handle the Finn character, because first he was supposed to be this, you know, big thing, then they kind of dropped the ball and he became nothing. And kind of just fell flat by the time the third movie came around. So, which is something we talked about before, because that first poster, you know, he was like, "Oh, Jedi out."
Yeah, I'm still upset about that. I still feel like they did a whole bait and switch for some people.
Yeah,
I feel like there was a bait and switch, and it is what it is. I'm not gonna, argue what somebody else wanted to write for their own thing, but at the same time, I mean, have some, slight bit of consideration, especially with the times the way they are. Don't dangle raw meat in front of a tiger.
But it's kind of true. Like that character became nothing. Like he just kind of, he was like up there, I'm fighting, saving the main character's life. Then all of a sudden, I'm a mediocre guy who has a little bit of a part. Then
like a sidekick.
Yeah. But I mean, it turns out that they just completely dropped the ball, because later on, actually today, Ray, I forget her real name, did a interview, and she's like, yeah, at first in that first movie, there was talk of me being Obi-Wan's kid. In the second one, I had no heritage, I had no heritage. And in the third one, they just switched everything to now I'm Palpatine's kid. And so they had no direction whatsoever with these.
So are you saying it was like the first original three, or he's like, well, maybe they're brother and sister, maybe they're not? Yeah.
I think it was worse. Like, I mean, you, and I guess that's to be clear already, because they kind of switched directors there and every time, and gave everyone their own creative rights. So it's, yeah. Anyway, we saw what happened to that, and hopefully we can get the next iterations of Star Wars are better. So.
Yeah, let's hope for something. This is how I feel about it. I know I like nitpick at things, and yeah, I wish he could have been more important than when he was. But I think ultimately the ball was dropped, because look how I know other movies are pushing to make the female characters more important, and rightfully so, they should be. But at the same time, they should be doing the same thing for other characters who aren't getting the same, attention.
Yeah.
Such as minority characters. So yes. I think they dropped the ball there. They could have pushed both. They didn't have to just push one. They could have made a bigger, broader statement. And I think they missed an opportunity to do that. And I don't know if even if they did it in the next one, it would just seem like they're doing that to correct their mistake from the last one. So it wouldn't seem as honest and as genuine of an effort. So I think the ball was dropped there.
It was dropped completely, because it essentially went right back to that same old trope of damsel in distress. Big tough white man comes in to save the day and gets to kiss the girl. Yes, he died, but that's basically what they reverted back to. Like it was. So it's sad. It's sad, and but that's the whole I gotta please everybody mentality of them, and it. Sometimes, in the case of their biggest franchise, smacks them in the face.
I don't think they pleased everybody with that one, though. I think they were going for a Nick group. They weren't trying to please everybody.
What, the last one?
The last three. I don't think they were trying to please everybody. I think they were going for one specific. With
that last one, with the Rise of Skywalker, they wanted to please all the Star Wars fans because they threw back every callback, every little thing that was left unanswered. They tried to of the old trilogy, they tried to just fill it in, like, oh, here, and then we have more Death Stars, and then this is Chewie finally gets his medal, and so they, like, as far as that goes, like, but I agree, gotcha. Like the second one for sure wasn't. They didn't give any fucks about anybody, but that's why I liked that one, because they were like, who cares? I'm not pleased. Like, not everything you knew is different. It's all different, but then that got erased. But yeah,
we could talk about this forever. Cause now I'm thinking about the poor Asian woman that got a whole bunch of crap.
He actually mentioned her too,
and didn't need. I mean, I don't understand why people just went so ape crazy about. I don't know. Star Wars, I guess, pushes a lot of buttons on what people expect out of it.
What's funny, she also became nothing. She was this big deal, and then just.
What's going on, Hollywood?
Yeah, same thing as always. It's just we're gonna put up a fake mask as long as it suits us, and then Anyway, Borat has secretly been filming for quite some time now, and is done and has screened. Old Sacha Baron Cohen is back with his antics. Did you see the original Borat?
You know what? I did not.
Okay, it's basically a prank show, and nobody knew he was pranking them because he is a fantastic character actor. I will give him that.
I've seen bits and pieces of it on YouTube, but I never watched the full movie, so
yeah,
I knew what I was in for.
People at the time didn't know they were being pranked, but now I don't know how. After how big it got, he could do it again.
You can always find somebody that has no clue what's going on out there.
That's true. That is true. I'm curious now though to see because he got like some big celebrities he pranked in that original one. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. Not a lot to say about Sacha Baron Cohen and his pranking. That's the word I'm looking for, of people. But something is coming to an end that has been near and dear to my heart for quite some time. AMC's The Walking Dead has announced that its flagship show is ending. Ain't all bad news though. They're finishing up season 10 this year. Then season 11 will be the final season, but it will be 24 episodes split into two. Some 2021, and then the rest ending in 2022. So technically 12 seasons. But like I said, it's not all bad news. That flagship show is ending, but of course there's still Fear the Walking Dead, and some of the characters have already jumped over on that side. Spoilers. And then of course, World Beyond is going to start up, I think, at the end of this year. And then Carol and Daryl Dixon are going to get their own spin-off show, apparently. And then there's going to be a Tales from the Crypt style anthology series, Tales from the Walking Dead, as well, starting up. So there will be no shortage of zombies.
Sounds like it.
Were you ever a fan?
I was. I started in late. I think it was, I want to say season 2 is when I started. I didn't jump on the bandwagon right away. It did get really good after a few of my favorite characters died. I started to stop slowly watching, and then I've completely fallen off. Now I don't know where they're at and what they're doing.
Gotcha. I was a fan of the comics before the show. I'm one of those, I know, very hipster of me.
Yes.
But I was, I
Nothing
really,
wrong with that. I feel you. Same with Battle Angel. Loved it.
then,
Now everybody wants to jump on my bandwagon.
and it's big eyes. But let's discuss the showbiz. This one is just, I just want to point out the current state of, the box office. It is sad. But I mean, it's to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
But, Tenet, its opening weekend, its official opening weekend is only at 20 mil. Which, I mean, COVID's still out there, so, I mean, that's damn good for the state of things we're in, because last weekend, or weekend before last, whichever it was, Bill and Ted only opened with about 4 million, and about the same for Unhinged. So, but those two also had the added benefit of going on VODs. So what they didn't make in theaters, I'm sure they made in VOD money, because holy cow, they charged a lot for those. But Tenet is straight theaters. But that's the domestic box office is 20 mil. I don't know total right now yet. Plus they had a soft opening last weekend as well. So yeah, but this is a very big, expensive movie. You think this is the future, or you think this is something, if you go box office only, this is what you get?
I think eventually things are going to be normal-ish again. It's going to be a while, so we should all expect some hits everywhere. But eventually things will come back to normal, hopefully, and people aren't just focused on on-demand stuff and then actually want to go out and hit that big screen again.
Yeah, as long as Disney's Mulan experience doesn't work.
Yeah. I don't think
if that works, holy cow, look out.
I don't feel like it is going to work just because of the price tag and the stipulations.
People are enjoying it though.
Yeah, I enjoy things too, but I'm not going to pay $1 gajillion for it, Good burger can be a good burger without, having to spend extra bucks for the good stuff.
Our Hardee's had that $6 burger. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was the restaurant quality burger at Hardee's for $6. It was okay. That'll bring us to trailers. You first or me, sir?
Oh, go ahead. I'm still thinking about that delicious burger.
The pickles. Use these sweet pickles that were just
Spider-Man. At Hardee's.
I'm sorry. Trailer. First and foremost, it dropped today. There's no way I can't talk about the Dune trailer. Have you seen this yet, sir?
I have not. I'm going to when we're done now.
Dear Lord. It's everything you would want. It's a visual masterpiece just in this trailer. I watched it about 3 or 4 times, and it's chock full of people. Freaking Jason Momoa, Thanos. Josh Brolin is his real name, I know, but he'll always be Thanos to me. And you get all the scenes you want in it, like her teaching him about pain and how to, like, he does the pain boxing. I don't know if you ever read the books, but like, he does the whole thing where you put your hand in the box, and then if you remove it, you die. And then we get not to mention, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, it's beautiful. Like, even the trailer on a little TV, computer screen that I watched it on was just beautiful. Just amazing. The only, like I said, Jason Momoa's in it, and he kind of pulled me out. I really hope he doesn't do surfer dude thing throughout this. Oh, our boy, my boy, I don't know if he's your boy, Batista's in it as well. But it's Oscar Isaac. It just looks, and then the ending shot. You know what they ended on? We get a sandworm.
I definitely checking that out as soon as we get done.
Freaking beautiful. Check that one out. Yours, sir.
Okay. Do you remember that? I mean, that wasn't that long ago on Netflix. There's a movie called The Babysitter.
Yes.
And I don't know if you saw it, if you enjoyed it. I thought it was really good for what it was. I actually had a ball watching. I probably had a couple of drinks too, but still I had a ball. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I did not think they were going to make a sequel for it, but guess what? They did. And the Babysitter Killer Queen is coming to Netflix. I'm kind of excited for it just because I enjoyed the first one so much, and I didn't think they would be able to make a sequel to that. Spoilers, because a whole bunch of people die. And I'm thinking, well, how can you make another one when they're all dead? Well, guess what? They can't, because they're going to come back as ghosts, apparently. And yeah. So basically the kid is trying to go on with his life, but he really misses the babysitter. I guess he has some kind of a weird, maybe it's that, thing where you're captives, you fall in love with your captive somehow, there's some weird thing that I forget what that's called. But anyway, he misses his babysitter, and then they start showing up. The other one starts showing up, her friends or whatever they were, who were a member of this death cult or devil cult or whatever they called it, start showing up as ghosts and then start terrorizing everybody again. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know it's probably a bad description, but I think it's going to win you over if you check it out.
Yeah, that first one caught me off guard. It wasn't at all what I expected, which I loved. Yeah, so I've been seeing the poster for that. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't think that was a sequel, but that's awesome. Okay. I'm going to check that one out. I have not seen that. So, yeah, but it's Christopher Nolan time. We are going to Tenet Watchbot, if you would not mind.
A secret agent embarks on a dangerous, time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. It stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, and Kenneth Branagh. It is directed and written by Christopher Nolan.
Thank you, Watchbot. There comes a time in a man's life where things have to change. Inception was very high. It was like number 2, number 3, 2. That top one of the 3 spots, somewhere in there for me as far as movies go. It got bumped down after I left the theater. And then I went and saw it again. Because this movie, and I know what people are going to say, and what people already are saying, people are saying it's convoluted. People are saying it's too confusing. People are saying that he tried to do too much. I think he executed exactly what he wanted to do. I think if you sit back and turn your brain on, because you can't turn it off for this movie, and you pay attention and maybe see it once or twice. And no, you shouldn't have to see a movie once or twice to understand it, but it's good enough that you really want to. God damn it, I had a ball in this one, man. What are your initial thoughts, sir?
You pretty much said it. I was one of the ones that was confused at first.
Uh-oh.
I was watching it and I was like, man, I'm not sure what the hell is going on here. But that's okay, because I know Christopher Nolan and I know what he like, and I know what, for me, from my perspective, what he's really good at is ending the movie well. I feel like he really, if a movie seems long and you're confused, if it's Christopher Nolan, be prepared for a payoff at the end, and it did pay off at the end. But I did find it until it started to make sense for me, and I don't want to ruin it for. I think it's going to be hard to talk about this movie without ruining it for people, because there's a point. I mean, as soon as you say that, that thing, then people are going to know exactly what to expect, and it kind of ruins what's really, really good about this film. So I don't want to say too much, but I will say there is a payoff at the end of this if you get through it. And you're right, you cannot turn your brain off. No. You have to leave your brain on the entire time, but there is a payoff if you can do so.
And if you get up for popcorn,
don't do it.
You're screwed.
Leave popcorn alone.
you better get all that popcorn and treats. But this is what we have wanted. Like, this is like people will keep screaming for, I need an original movie. I want something different. I want new. This is it. What I love about him is he's not afraid to take risks. Even when he did Batman, he brought us something different that could have blew up in his face, especially, the Batman Begins the way it was. But he takes risks. He takes these risks, these calculated risks, I think, and he goes big with them. And for me, it did not fail. And it is even bigger risk with this one because, like I said, he doesn't want it on VOD first. He wants it in cinemas as long as it can be. And that is, right now, it's an insane risk. Mm-hmm. But from start to finish, I'm glued. I'm sitting in there and I'm glued in these very awkward sectioned off seats because, once again, the other theater I went to, I went and saw it on IMAX, and good lord, that screen and the sound. The second time I saw it, which I've been hearing a complaint about how the sound is muffled sometimes, and I think I know why. After seeing it on IMAX first and then to another LIMAX. Mm-hmm. On the LIMAX, they still use that IMAX sound, which is insane in the big auditorium that suits the actual IMAX screen. But when it's scaled down, when the screen and the room is scaled down and you're still using IMAX sound, like a lot of these do, it does sound a bit muffled, and I think it's converted wrong. Yeah, I don't know if you had an issue with the sound.
Yeah, I did have a couple issues where I didn't really hear what they said. Even though I heard it, I couldn't make it out. And I don't know if that was because of that or not, but I can't wait to actually watch this. Sadly, watch it at home so I can sit there and really focus in on it.
I'm coming to you. We're going to an IMAX.
Because I did have a couple sound issues.
Yeah, I've been hearing that around as well. And I think that's bad crossover. I don't think that's a problem with the screen, with the film. But I think you're right. A lot of people will enjoy it more at home, especially when you can rewind it and go back and look at some of these things that he managed to pull off. We can't really get too much in detail about the movie, but because I think everyone should see it and not have it spoiled for them. Let's get into these characters. Mr. David Washington, I think, did a phenomenal job. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I think he held his own amongst some big names.
Yeah, and just physically, because he isn't a large man.
No.
He was like smaller than the female lead, which you don't often see, which was actually kind of refreshing. Yeah, at the same time, he seems, when he's just on screen by himself, he seems bigger than life because he's able to do so much.
Yeah, he demands the room. Like, I love the way he delivers lines. And like you said, like, even physically, as far as demeanor and in the action scenes, like, I haven't seen him in many action movies, but good lord, he pulled off some stuff.
Yes. There are some things I do have some criticisms. Mm-hmm. And one of those criticisms is I was thinking in my head this was going to be more sci-fi than it was.
Yeah.
And it was to an extent, but on a different level. It was sci-fi in as far as playing with time. As opposed to gimmicks and stuff like that. It felt more like a Mission Impossible or James Bondy type movie at first. Mm-hmm. I got that feel from it, mainly, and then towards the end, more so than in the beginning, you start to get more of the sci-fi elements, which I thoroughly enjoy, but I was just expecting more of that right off the bat, and it just didn't come till later, which was somewhat of a surprise, maybe a little bit of a movie shock for me. But it was weird. It felt more like a Mission Impossible or a James Bond movie. It doesn't like just scream sci-fi right off the bat, which I think might turn off some people if they were expecting to see this epic sci-fi,
time movie,
time action thriller thing. It wasn't exactly that.
And I think that's how he managed to ground it in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if he went too crazy at the start with the time, it would have kind of, because he likes to take these outrageous ideas and kind of ground, like even Batman, like he still managed to make that feel like it could actually happen,
Yep.
And I think that's what he was going for with that. Like you said, like early on, granted, it was still some insane stuff happening, but not as insane as the later parts of that movie. Robert Pattinson, speaking of Batman,
right.
I think he was a little reminiscent of Tom Hardy in Inception, that the way he delivered his lines, that boyish charm that he gave off. But I think he did an amazing job as the co-star.
Because he wasn't. Yeah, you wouldn't expect. Robert Pattinson is a big name now. You wouldn't expect him to play second fiddle to anybody, but I feel like he played second fiddle just fine. I don't think it took away or from anything. It felt his character felt right, and I think he was the perfect cast for that.
I'm just gonna say Elizabeth. I don't.
Debicki?
Debicki? What he said. How's she first billed on IMDb? I don't know if they bill this in whatever. Either way. But yeah, I thought I like seeing her kind of, she was kind of badass. I was going to say her metamorphosis, but she was kind of badass throughout. Like she always seemed to know what she wanted. But yeah, I thought she did a fantastic job. What do you think of her?
Yeah, she played her character perfectly. I don't have any complaints from her whatsoever.
Our bad guy, and he didn't seem to fit. Like he wasn't this big looming bad guy. Like you wouldn't expect him to be the boss, the way everyone feared him. But I think he pulled off Sinister very well. But he just seemed like this little stout guy. Yes, he was intimidating when he was with her, but like around everyone else, he just seemed like, that's some dude. He's angry. Let him have his tantrum.
I thought he did a pretty good job. I felt like he played the part well. I think he seemed intimidating when he needed to be. He definitely was like the foreign rich guy who, gets everything. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to bring up anybody else's name who might be like that, but he seemed very, what's the word I'm looking for? you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
Yeah. He did a good job as the villain. I don't have any complaints from him either. I don't think he needed to be like huge or looming or anything. I just think he needed to be vicious and evil, and he gave me that, so I'm happy with that.
I cannot lie. I have to agree with you there. He did give that very well. I guess I don't know. I don't know why I feel like he needed to be bigger, but because our two protagonists were normal. So
I will say, seeing Michael Caine in there though did throw me a little bit because it felt like I was, almost watching Batman again.
He does like to cast his same people.
Yeah, so that kind of took me out of the picture for a second because I'm like, well, this seems familiar, and I didn't want to because I wanted everything else. Everything else felt kind of newish, but then he popped up, and I'm like, it's Christopher Nolan. Why wouldn't he put Michael Caine in there?
The size of a tangerine.
I'll have what you say.
You remember Batman? I'm sorry. sticks in my head for some odd reason. But yeah, I visually stunning, breathtaking.
Did you have any problems with the special effects? I know. I mean, back in the day, I always go back to the Matrix, and I look at the Matrix and I go, this thing was so epic, and so it just changed the movie world. You know, it had bullet time in it, and had this, and had that. And then I look at this film. Do you think this film has a similar footprint on the movie world, or do you think, or what do you think of the special effects?
I mean, honestly, I think it will, but if I'm being honest, I think he used something very basic and exploited it. Mm-hmm. Because the way he managed to pull off, and I don't think this is spoiling because it's in the trailers, but the way he managed to pull off the reverse thing while things are still going forward, and not lose any of the action is phenomenal. But let's be honest, he's just reversing things.
Yeah. Thank you. That's how I feel. I mean, I feel like some of those scenes were difficult to watch because you're just, I don't know. Sometimes, usually when a filmmaker uses something like in reverse, it's to create an effect. Like I can't really make, something fling out of my hand, but if I, drop something in my hand and put that in reverse, it looks like I'm flinging it out of my hand. They usually use that type of a gimmick with reversing time. This was more straightforward. Like, I'm just reversing time, watching me. So it kind of didn't satisfy me as much as it did on a visual level, as much as it did on an intellectual level. Intellectually, it blows your mind when you finally realize what's going on.
Exactly.
And how everything fits together. And that's what I mean when I say, like, no one really knows how to end something. You may not get it right away, but by the end, he will bring it all together for you so you can have a satisfied feeling. But while it's happening, though, you're just kind of like, I don't know if this is quite all that, this isn't worthy of my feelings, like, of the Matrix. This is, like, slightly, further down the road where it's like, okay, sure, but, you're not blowing my mind. Like, I don't think that effect should have cost, millions and millions and millions of dollars. I hope it didn't.
I have not looked into that. I really hope it didn't either, because, like I said, it's very cool the way he's able to, the way he pulled it off. And I'm sure it's something easy with CGI, but, well, not easy. Let me get that straight, because I think that stuff is not easy, but
they just did that in the editing room. All they had to do was, reverse and then splice some stuff together, and you're good. That's what I'm thinking, but it's probably more complicated than that. But I was gonna say
it's probably a little more tedious, a lot more tedious than that. But it's the way it works, the way it flawlessly came off, though, while you're still watching a movie in forward and having it, that stuff happen. I thought that was phenomenal. But and then the fact that even though it doesn't really come into play until later, like, some people had to actually learn lines in reverse. Didn't have to, but he thought that would help add things. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, it is. I think some of the things in here will live on and be used again in other movies, but it is in no way as revolutionary as the effects in The Matrix were, because we're still feeling those effects to this day. But I think, like you said, story wise and just on an intellectual level, this movie, I think, is pretty freaking genius. Any super sent out scenes, I guess, without giving too much?
Not without giving anything away. There are scenes that I'm unimpressed by. And I hate to say these things because I feel like it puts a shadow over the movie, like it's not as good as what it actually is. But
Well,
there's just
to be honest.
but there's just some things that I was not overly impressed with. Like there's a scene where they had, how are they going to get into that building way up there? We're going to bungee cord up there. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but that didn't feel sci-fi. That felt like, James Bond or Mission Impossible. And that's not what I thought I was going to see. I thought I was going to see strictly a sci-fi, blow my mind, blow my visual effects type of movie. And it just, those moments just didn't reward me as much as the ending did. And again, I can't discuss it without ruining it. So, and I think it's completely dependent upon that. It's one of those rare occasions.
Do you think the movie is?
I think the movie is dependent upon the total sum of its parts. You need all of it to be able to enjoy it. And the ending is a crucial part of that sum.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't argue that. He definitely,
But
he definitely built a,
there are some scenes that I loved, but I can't discuss them because it would ruin it. And I'll just tell you because you'll know what I'm talking about. I love how at one point the main female character Kat was discussing how she felt, or she was envious of somebody's freedom. I don't know if you remember that. And then then you find out exactly what that means later in the movie. And I thought that was epically beautiful. That was such a good idea to put into the movie. I loved that. That was one of those moments where I was like, wow. I mean, you're writing for my soul, not just, for my enjoyment of the visual pleasures of watching a movie.
And that's why I like this movie so much. It's not just like, the effects help, but it's not just the effects. He goes so much deeper than that. Like there's a whole, the relationship between Pattinson and Washington. I love it. I love where it ended without saying too much.
Did you see it coming?
Not as soon as I wish I would have.
Definitely not in the beginning of the movie. Definitely not in their first few encounters. But as it starts to go on, like maybe or slightly after half, you realize, you know what? Yeah.
But I still love that. Like that's amazing to me. I love that the way he with everything else that was going around, I still love that he wove that in there as well. Just another little added Easter egg bonus in the Nolan basket.
I wonder how many deleted scenes there are and stuff that they had to cut out.
Oh dear Lord!
I feel like they could really. I mean, I feel like there's missing parts, not purposely, like the film didn't feel complete, but I just feel like they probably cut out a bunch where they could have left it in, and it would just be a treat for the fans. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I would watch them all. Yeah. I'm gonna on that double super ultra HD platinum edition of this movie because definitely a go watch from me. I don't know about you, sir.
Yeah, I definitely give it a go watch. I just want to warn people: go in with a blank slate. Like I say that a lot, and I mean it because sometimes you don't want to anticipate something because it will ruin your enjoyment of a thing. Just go in with a blank slate and enjoy the trip.
You feel the trailer was over sci-fi for what the movie was?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I can understand that completely. Oh, well, that will bring us to where you can find us. And like we said, don't get up, don't look at your cell phone, just watch the movie. Because you'll be like, what? Don't take a baby. Just leave the baby in the car. Leave the baby in the car.
Leave the baby in the car.
Because you need all your attention span for the movie.
Your baby's at home.
Under the car seat. Nobody will find it. Where you can find us, you can find us at gowatchmovie.com, the one-stop shop for all things entertainment. The news is there, the trailers are there. I'll get Robert's trailer there. Babysitter.
The Babysitter, Killer Queen.
Killer Queen.
Killer Queen.
That there. And that's everything for this week. Tenet. Say it first, the same in reverse, or something like that. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie.
Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety split it. Go watch a movie.